chap chippity chew.
Yo.
Ew.
A really bad Chewbacca or Jar Binks.
Do your Chewbacca impression. Chewbacca. Steve, you watch Star Wars now.
I do. I know all the references.
Yeah, just like, chip chap chippity chew.
Chip
chap chippity chew. Yep. My favorite part.
Remember.
All right, let's get to it.
Chewy, we need to go home. Chip chap chippity chew.
Anyone that gives me a impassioned, emphatic chip chap chippity doo, I'm gonna ask them to leave the room.
That's the correct response.
You gotta go, man.
I'm not ready for any of this.
No, won't stop. The way that I keep to deliver. SJ, I'ma make these haters reconsider. BBC, I kick back, stay high up for life. Oh yeah, and I won't stop. I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. Even if I try.
All right, hello. Hi, and welcome, y'all, to Y'all Boys Talkin, a podcast about nonsensical improvement where each week we not only talk about bettering ourselves, but how we can help you better yourself by hearing us better ourselves. It's like a museum tour with the dubstep. My name is Joshua Jean-Baptiste.
Frank Hernandez.
I'm Maximo Santana.
And I'm Steve Della Valentina.
And the four of us have known each other for quite the many decades, and we came up with this philosophy called STTT, straight to the top. Hey Max, why don't you give them a rundown of what STTT means?
STTT is like putting together the perfect Thanksgiving spread.
Ooh,
Okay.
And you're gonna need, a headliner, good old turkey.
Gobble gobble.
And that's just knowing what your goals are, making sure you're focused and your eyes are on the prize. But then you're also going to need an all-star supporting cast. That means a good old cranberry sauce. The things that make life spicy and delectable. Things that make you feel good. The rewards we give ourselves every good old day. But you're also going to need some stuffing. Stuffing's a wild card. Some people make some great stuffing. Some people just make some, ooh-wee, what is this kind of stuffing? Stuffing represents the trials and tribulations in our lives, the things that go wrong, the things we'll have to overcome. But it's all right, because we also got the gravy. And the gravy makes everything just wash down a little bit easier,
Ooh.
Gravy is the thing that makes it all worth it. Gravy is the things that, we wake up to and we look forward to on a day-to-day basis. Put that all together, got your hopes, your dreams, your trials, your tribulations, the things worth dying for, the things worth waking up for. Put it all together, got yourself a life worth living.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So it's like achieving your goals is what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say, Frank. Thank you.
Gotcha.
All right.
You had me with everyday gravy.
Yeah.
Everyday gravy.
I drank some today. That's how I start my
I'll
day.
I'll take it. Well, thank you for that. All right, just have a question for you guys.
Okay.
If there was a box, a string, and a stick trap, one of those like they used to do in Looney Tunes, what would have to be under it for you to get trapped?
Gravy.
Wow.
I mean, if I got to start my day, it's got to start with gravy.
So you'd be trapped in a box for gravy?
Yeah, and it wouldn't even have to be in a cup. It would just have to be like a little puddle of gravy.
Loose floor gravy is all you need to get, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. What about you, Max?
Mine, probably a good old bottle of hot sauce. Just something spicy in there that I haven't tried before. I'm probably willing to risk it for a stick and a string propped up by a box.
Mine would be a slip that says your student loans have been paid.
I don't know, man. Too good to be true, man. You gotta ask yourself what could realistically be under a box.
What if it's a slip? Can't you just read it from afar without having to like get it?
Just acknowledge it. Binoculars, look at it.
Yeah.
My vision isn't that good.
Oh,
Frank, what would you get?
You know what? There's not really many things that I'd like to physically grab. Like I'd like all my debts to be cleared. I'd like to travel a bit more. I'd like to.
It has to be under the box though.
Exactly. So basically, at this point, I would just like a larger stick, a stick larger than the stick holding up the box. So that way, when the box starts closing, I can hold up the box with the larger stick, and they can just appreciate the craftsmanship of
the box and the stick.
Trap to begin with.
All right. On that note, our first subject. This is our first.
But before we jump into our first segment, Josh, this is the first podcast that we're doing with you as a 30-year-old human being.
Hello, y'all. I'm 30-year-old Josh. I'm here to tell you about goals.
Golems?
Golems? What?
Yeah. Look, I just wanted to take this time to tell you that I love you and to 70 more years of Josh.
Yeah,
At least.
At least 70 more years.
Minimum.
If you get to like 102, we'll be like, all right, Josh, you're pushing it. But like at least 100.
Yo, thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It is nice to be in this age. It was nice to receive a lot of love. My party was really fun, and I celebrated for the entire weekend. So it was #worth it. Yeah, it's going to be nice. And so now moving forward, I'm going to take a more mature tone in this podcast.
Ooh.
So I'm going to say cut the jokes. Let's get on to our first segment.
Wow.
Which is STT of the week. Cue sound.
STTT of the week.
Serious, Josh. It's
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
No more nonsense.
STT of the week is a person, place, or thing that has exemplified straight to the topness. And this week, folks, the legends Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez, we give you flowers this week. Frank, take it away.
Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez, along with their company Tiller and Hatch, donated a year's worth of food to Jacksboro Elementary School to fill the school's pantry after they saw a post on Facebook from their teacher, from a teacher at the school named Brooke Goins, where she told the story of one of her kids who was dealing with not having food in their home. Now, there's been a lot of these stories where I hear like these kids like aren't able to pay for the food at their school and they're unable to eat. It seems to be more common than not. I personally was on reduced and free lunch back in middle school. And boy, sometimes, you know, your parents are really busy. It's not that my mom didn't have the time to cook or things like that, but, you know, sometimes just not there to cook and sometimes there's not enough food at the point. So sometimes the meals you get at school is the only meal you get a day.
Right.
So when, you know, J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez heard of this story, they also grew up in similar situations. And now that they're in a place of superstardom, and as a power couple, they've done something to help all these kids. And it's just absolutely amazing. It's something that we harp on STTT of the week multiple times is when you're able to help other people, you have to help other people because, you know, help people.
Big facts.
And,
Big facts.
yeah. What do y'all think?
I think it's amazing that, once again, people that have platforms are using it for good. I mean, I'm a little like, kind of like, you know, our government should be doing that, but it's fine.
Why is the system doing this?
Why isn't the system doing it? But the sentiment stays the same. And honestly, I have been a child hungry from school because I couldn't afford lunch. So I understand that this must have amazing implications on their grades and their overall livelihood. So we give our flowers to you, J-Lo.
Yeah, and I love when schools just do providing more services for the community than just being a school. So like they filled up the pantry, right? Which is a place that families can come in and get food. It's not just like the school cafeteria. So I love it when schools have pantries or doctor's offices or dentist offices where people in the community can come in and actually get services. Those things not just make the students' lives better, but their whole entire family and the community around that entire school. So shout out to J-Lo and haaaard, not just for helping one school, but helping a whole community through filling their pantry and making sure that everybody that goes in that building can get some food and be healthy and fed.
Big facts. Big facts.
Also, it's really wonderful to be able to give STT of the week to two Yankees fans and also a former Yankees player. So this is dope.
No, it's not.
So
this is terrible.
go Yankees, even though you guys lost to the Astros.
No,
it's all good.
No,
Yankees is the
take
best.
it back, Josh.
On that note, shout out to you, A-Ro and J-Lo, or J-Lo and A-Ro. We give our flowers to you this week. Thank you for feeding the kids and the kids' family. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more to come.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Yeehaw.
Hi, y'all. It's me again. With turkey season in full effect, family and friends will be surrounded with feasts abound. Now, in all the laughs and chitter-chatter, make sure to avoid that one cousin trying to get you into Bitcoin. The market is just really volatile. So keep your eyes off the ROIs and on the cranberry sauce. Happy Thanksgiving.
We are back. Now is the time for the main event of our wonderful show, our challenge checkup. Cue sound. Challenge checkup! Oh, so long ago, Max came up with this crazy idea to give each other New Year's resolutions, which we like to call challenges. So in our last saga, you witnessed us for 6 months try to achieve our goals with ups, downs, lefts, and rights. This saga, it's pretty much the same thing, except we've switched it up. All of us have 3 challenges. The first being a personal challenge, which is a challenge we give ourselves. The second is the community impact challenge, which is one that has to affect the community. And lastly, the friend challenge, which is a challenge that was given to us. That being said, there are some consequences. Frank?
Thank you, mature Josh. We have up until March 1st, 2020 to complete all of these goals. If we do not complete all of these goals by that time, we will each be receiving one of 4 punishments, which include a week without internet of recreational nature, 2 weeks without entertainment of any sort, 3 weeks with just eating one type of meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and because we all love our lovely facial hair, it would be an entire month without our facial hair, and we'd look like babies or 15-year-olds and whatnot, so that would suck. But if we complete all of these challenges, we will each be receiving a Y'all Boys Talkin championship belt, which will go from a dope-ass belt for the more effort we put in to a not-so-dope belt for the less effort we put in. Either way, we all have to work together to complete these goals on our way to the top.
Tippity, 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 top. So let's get into it, guys. Drum roll, please. Frank, take us away.
Sup, y'all. All right, I got 3 challenges. My personal challenge is to complete 4 music videos. My friend challenge is to cook twice a week with 1 new recipe every week. And my community challenge is to become a mentor for big brothers and big sisters. All right, y'all. So let's start off with the old personal goal. I've gotten a lot of F's in this one, if you've been listening for the past number of weeks, because, hey, I did not prioritize the time to work on it. So this week, after last week, I said I would split my week into quadrants. I opened the project. I looked at the project. I saw that all the clips were still there. I changed the aspect ratio of it, and I'm like, all right, I'll get into this next week. And I didn't work on that still.
That sounds like the video editing equivalent of looking at my banjo.
I looked at my video banjo. I did not play that banjo. But the thing is, last week I came here and had just a really rough week. I was just having a super tough time. But because of something that happened this week, which I'll get into in my Rosebud Thorn, I actually did split my week into quadrants. I actually figured things out, and starting next week, Max made a bold proclamation in week 1 or 2, I think week 2, where he's just like, you know what? I'm going to finish my goals first so then I can help y'all finish your goals.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember hearing Max say that and be like, okay, word. But now, on week 11, I'm here to tell y'all that, guys, I'm going to finish all my goals so I can help y'all finish your goals. But starting next week, because this week I got an F for mine.
Okay.
My second goal is cooking. My friend goal. I recooked the Parmesan pork chops and roasted asparagus, which was really good last time. I added a little less salt this time, and it was dope. It was actually really, really good. But I did not end up cooking another meal throughout the week. Me and Trader Joe's are still good friends. Me and Uber Eats are less friends than before. Like we still like each other's pictures on Instagram, but like we don't like talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would say I would give myself a D, because I did cook, but it's an old recipe and I only did it one time.
Yeah.
That. But bold proclamation here. Like, starting next week, it's gonna be crazy, guys. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, Frank, you made such a crazy improvement."
I mean, that's a way to rally the base, bro. Team Frank, I can hear the thunder right
Team
now.
Frank, stand up, stand up. This is not the strongest week for us, but we're gonna move it forward with the final challenge, the community goal, to become a mentor for Big Brothers Big Sisters. As I mentioned previously, they still have me waiting for January until we can move on forward. So I've decided to read a couple books that were recommended to me by someone who's worked with children for a number of years. The one that I'm currently reading is called The Body Keeps the Score, and boy, it's quite a book about trauma and way less rough than the last one I read. But I'm learning some new things that I didn't even know before, like kind of like how we get like really emotional. So every time like we feel like super bad or whatever, the emotional brain still, like, when there's something quote unquote in the back of our mind that something's weighing on us, even though we try and push it back, like that effort that we're putting into, the body keeps fucking doing it, which is why the book is called The Body Keeps the Score. So even though we're not actively paying attention to it, if there's something still bothering us, it still physically affects us. The physical effects on the organs go unabated until they demand notice when they are expressed as illness. So you literally get sick because you don't fucking confront your shit.
Oh my Lord.
Yup, like that's a real thing that happened. Like, oh, like mental, physical. Like, no, you really get sick for not fucking dealing with your shit. So this week I really dealt with a lot of my shit. And again, Team Frank, we're gonna do this next week. But this week, for this goal, I would give myself an A, because I'm still fucking doing it. I'm learning new things about myself, and boy, I really am excited to move forward with this Big Brothers Big Sisters shit. But some time has to pass.
Okay. Wow. So what does your acronym spell?
FBA. BFA. Bachelor's of Fine Arts.
So Frank, wait, didn't last week you mention something about wanting to do like a little more, and taking inspiration from Josh's, I guess,
proactiveness.
Yeah, proactiveness, and asking what could I do now?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because having heard that and whatnot, like one of the things that I did this week as far as like splitting my life into quadrants, I actually had a talk with you and Josh last week after the podcast, because I was really just kind of dealing with just like how I'm spending my time, and how I'm not reaching the goals that I kind of want to reach there. And y'all kind of reminded me, it's just like you do a whole bunch of things already. And as I scheduled my time, I realized that like, in order to do all the things that I want to do, I really can't devote more time outside of the things that I'm currently doing. It's like, cause yeah, like I do definitely want to find other things than Big Brothers Big Sisters, but honestly, like becoming a mentor, that's the thing that I want to do the most.
Right.
So there's other things where I'm just like, yeah, maybe this, maybe that. But what I realized is I'm going to be spending more time looking for something to satiate the thing that I truly want to do, rather than doing the thing that I want to do. So in the interim, reading these books, getting myself really adjusted to that, because again, I thought I was hot shit a number of weeks ago, thinking like, yeah, I don't need to fucking know any of this stuff. But honestly, truly, the more I'm learning about this stuff, the more I realize I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And like, I'm so fucking excited to eventually do this. So yeah, like I did want to do that, but I'm not seeing where in my schedule I'd be able to make that extra amount doing the things that I currently do already. Because that extra time, I do want to kind of put it into the videos and things of that nature, because
Hey man,
that's stuff
and that's fine.
years.
You're operating from a place of surplus, not a deficit. You know. So
yeah, no, I'm actually really glad you said that, because when you mentioned it, I was like, no, it's cool that you want to do more, but like after you mentioned how, I guess, overwhelmed you were with everything that you needed to do, and you it seems like you took inventory of everything you're doing, and if anything, you're more focused and saying no to new things that may seem like a good idea, but realistically, you have to focus on what you're already doing, and I think that's much better. So yeah, I just wanted to see where that was at. So I would definitely go with the A.
Same.
Yeah.
Woo.
Max.
I agree on all these fronts. Looks like Frank needs to take measure of all the things he's kind of like trying to squeeze in there. You only got 24 hours in your day, and if your day's already packed, then hey, ain't gonna be able to squeeze more things in.
True. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Good work, Frank. Let's keep it going. Steve, what you got?
I got 3 challenges. My first is my friend challenge, which is to run and train for a 5K. My second challenge is my personal one, to build and launch or release a video game. And my third challenge is for the community, which is to teach digital literacy to elderly Hispanic folk. So I'll start with the 5K training. Ooh boy, I sure love running and exercising and pushing my body to its limits. And this week I found out just how okay I am with sitting around and not exercising. Yeah. But I ate salads though.
Hey, we were really excited about you eating salads last week. So,
So you found out new things about your ability to sit and do nothing, Steve?
Yeah. I mean, after having worked out before, and several times in my life, I realized, sitting's pretty easy to do.
You've worked out several times in your life?
Yeah. I've worked out a couple times,
Okay. Yeah.
So I definitely give myself an F for this one.
Oh.
Damn, what happened?
I just never made the time or effort, because it's usually after work where I may find the time, like with the insanity thing, but I've had to go home early, or in the mornings I just never woke up early, and so it's really just a matter of finding that time. But now that it's daylight savings,
Save some of it. Yeah.
So I'm falling back.
That might be a little easier to do. So
Steve, I'd like to give you a micro challenge, which is also a major part of your challenge as well. You got to sign up for a 5K.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like I've done that, but then you're totally right, and I should.
As a person who signed up for a 5K and didn't run it, the Tough Mudder guys, remember I said I was going to do that a number of weeks ago, that I didn't do it. I mostly didn't do it because I just didn't really like the people I was going to go with. It's a whole thing. But anyway, Steve, just having that deadline, as we put in one of the quotes a while that a goal is a dream with a deadline. So giving yourself a deadline will probably help you out with like, oh yeah, it's coming up in 3 weeks. I should probably run today.
Big facts. I agree with that.
So I like dreaming, but I think for this one, I should probably make it more of a goal. So funny enough, is my second challenge on making that video game was also, a lot of dreaming. It was just, hey, like, I know I got to make a video game, and I know it's not going to be easy, and I kind of did a little conceptualizing and looking, whatever.
You know how I feel about that?
Falls in that quadrant, and that's another F.
Oof.
Yeah.
Damn, Steve. Okay.
I know. It's just, and I can't even say it's been a rough week. Like, things were generally okay, but I don't think I've prioritized myself.
Facts.
And I think that really is what the problem has been. And, that's a whole thing in itself, but just lack of prioritization. But, volunteering last week.
Okay.
Had me in its ups and downs. So if I'll take you back real quick to my first encounter with the people I would be teaching. It was a room of two guys. One guy who was like super disinterested. He's like, no, I'm good. And then another guy who wanted to learn how to write. So I was like, all right. I came in right on time, and I was like, all right, where's my guy who needs to write his letter? I'm gonna help him write the best letter ever. Turns out he didn't even show up.
Oh.
I was like, all right, I'm not hurt. It's nothing personal. And I just was there hoping I'd have some type of utility. And I get in the room, and there's two guys, a new guy who I hadn't met before, and the same guy from before, Mr. Yahoo News. And same thing happens, or this time it's just me. I introduced myself again. I was like, hey, if you guys need any help, and then this and that. And he's like, no, I'm good. And then I was just like, if you're sure? I was like, no, for real, I'm okay. And I was like, oh, all right. So then I just kind of like sat around for 5-10 minutes, kind of like twiddling my fingers. Like,
you weren't chugging and tooting?
I was not. No, I was all full brakes. The locomotive had stopped.
It's going.
Yeah.
No chugs.
Yeah, no chugs whatsoever. And I'm like just kind of watching, and I see him struggling, like trying to find some directions from this like app that kind of looks like Google Maps, but it wasn't.
Right.
Long story short, he breaks down and he's like, Steve, I need help. So
Oh shit.
I show him Google Maps. I help him navigate to this place he's trying to get to. It's like a house party, and then he's all thankful, and then we start chit-chatting, and then the train is chugging along. We're chugging and tooting, and I tell him,
wow.
yeah, I got
Yo,
married.
that's love, bro.
Yeah. So it was good.
That was dope. That's great.
And what was your grade for that?
I would say an A.
Okay, perfect.
That's
A for Angel, Steve.
That's a hell of a name, man. And like and I feel that dude. I felt that in my soul, because I'm just like, he is just like, nah, I got this. But the fact that he actually opened up.
No, I mean, he
that's
hugged. I told him I got married. He hugged me. The guy's name's Henry. He's Costa Rican, and yeah.
That's great. All right. Kudos to you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Zazmo, what you got for us?
Hey guys, I got 3 challenges. The first challenge is my personal one, to enter 3 rock climbing competitions. I got a friend challenge to release a 5-track violin EP, and I have a community challenge to help the Tech Workers Coalition. Unfortunately, this week I'm still very much so under the weather. I'm still getting over my pneumonia, and right now it's a bad idea for me to engage with most of these activities. For example, it's a very bad idea for me to go into a gym right now in my condition. It's also a terrible idea for me to meet with a large group of people in person. So for my first 2 challenges, I'm going to give myself a bye for my rock climbing and a bye for helping out the tech workers. Just not a good idea for me to do those in my current condition.
Well, they have pneumonia-based rock climbing gyms.
That's huge in San Francisco.
Yeah, I have not seen any, actually. I think they closed them all down.
For health concerns.
I wonder why.
Just, they did not pass the health inspection, I imagine.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For my last challenge, making music, that's something I'm actually going to get more into this week. Haven't done any of that so far just yet. But I do imagine that's actually something that can make me feel a little bit better, since I've been cooped up inside the house for going on 7 days now. So
That's some prime violin practicing time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it might just be the one thing I can actually
BVPT
make progress on. So I'll start probably working on that. You know what I'm gonna do tomorrow? I'm gonna hook up the printer.
Okay, you know what you need to do right now? Give yourself a grade.
Well, right now, I'd probably give myself enough for that one. I could be doing stuff.
Yeah.
So F bye is your
F bye.
F bye.
So,
gentlemen, this is a rough patch of a week that's going on right now.
No, I don't know if you heard earlier, but Team Frank's gonna fucking have a rally. It wasn't a great.
You're gonna gather the rabble rousers.
Who we're gonna rabble, but you know who's gonna rabble? Fucking mature Josh. Josh, tell us about your week, dog.
All right. So my community challenge is to install speed bumps in my neighborhood. My personal challenge is to write a 1-person show. And my friend challenge was to remain sober for a total of 90 days. 60 days being consecutive. I'm going to start with that one.
Yeah.
All right.
So my 60-day mark has been successfully achieved.
Woo!
I was sober for 60 days and I did it. And it just so happened that it landed on my birthday. And, I kind of just went right back to good old Josh.
Good old Josh.
Good old Josh.
Good old party favor chugging and tooting.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, I don't say that it was a bad thing. I think I get a pass because it's my birthday, but I have realized that the train should stop sooner than later. And
so you're still chugging and tooting?
Still chugging and tooting. Still chugging and tooting. So, but I have a couple months to do 30 days, but as far as my progress this week, wait, hold on. I got a question to ask. How's this going to work? Like, I still need to be sober?
You have 30 more days to do.
I feel like this week you completed the 60 days. So I feel like that's good enough for an A this week.
Yeah, so your effort I wouldn't just jump to conclusion. Josh, what grade would you give yourself first?
Yeah.
Shit, by that logic, I'm gonna give myself an A. I completed 60 days, bitch.
See, Max, you done ruined it. You told him he deserved an A.
Now he thinks he wants it. Oh my god.
Do you guys agree with that?
I mean,
look,
I do. Yeah.
Personally, I'd go with a B. Because
for
you did
birthday.
knock out. B for birthday. Because on your birthday. But then it's the whole going back, So the B is the hopeful B, on all that into the future.
I'd go with B too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying,
B2,
Josh is doing everything that you required of him in the challenge. He did 60 days.
Nope, he still has 30 more days to go.
Correct, and he's working on that. He hasn't jeopardized that. Like, he's still fully on track to get that. He can continue on the way he's continuing on, and he'd make it just fine.
Well, what do you give me, Max?
I mean, I feel like an A, but it seems like the majority here is a B.
Yeah. I mean, all right, fine. I'll take the B. All right, next up, my community challenge. I called the city to fix put speed bumps in my neighborhood, but they said 90 days. I think that's going to be towards the end of this month. So
maybe kind of, sort of.
So for the meantime, I've been scouring the city to find helpful things to do. I signed up to 2 organizations. I got placed on the list to be a part of another organization, and I haven't done anything this week to follow up with those things.
Woo.
So I mean, I'm in the queue, but which my lazy side would say that's enough, but I could have looked and stirred the pot and solidified dates regarding my community activism while I wait for the speed bump. So I'm gonna give myself a C because I signed myself up. At some point, I'm going to get an email or a phone call regarding engagement with those things, but I didn't do anything to push the needle.
Did you sign up this week, or did you sign up a few weeks ago?
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Did I what?
Did you sign up this week, or did you sign up before this week?
I signed up last week.
Oh, okay. What did you do this week?
Yeah, what'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I was basking in my signups.
So if we were to repeat this to next week and the week after, would you keep giving yourself C's?
No. I think it fades away after next week.
So this week,
I mean, I'm gonna follow up this week. Is what I'm saying.
Steve, Max.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't do anything.
Yeah, it sounds kind of effy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're in agreement.
All right, cool.
That's
got it.
All right, so I will be sending out follow-up emails next week. And
all right, that sounds like
stirring the pot of my community involvement.
Yeah, because Josh, you gave me a bunch of pick-me-ups in the past couple of weeks where you're just like, hey, this didn't work out, so I did X, and then you know what? I did Y as well. And I was just like, my nigga, this week, nah, it's an F, bro.
I blame my birthday. Actually, you know what? It's honestly F's across the board. My personal challenge, well, okay, I'm gonna give myself a D because I came up with an idea, right? I conceptualized an idea of what my show should be.
Cool.
But here's the kicker. My show should be an expanded version of a one-person show I've already written. So therefore, because my intention is now placed on a document that is already written that I can alter and expand on, I think I at least deserve a C.
What did you do? Did you retitle the document? Did you put it in a different folder? Did you
laminate the old play?
Document? What did you do, Josh?
Did you hang it up next to Max's violin?
So with all the effort that I did this week, I'm actually going to give myself an F.
Wow, that backpedaled really quick.
Yep. So my grades are in FBF for this week. And I'm here to say, fellas, we are slacking. We are slacking and slacking and slacking.
Team Frank is rallying.
Team Frank is rallying. But
Team Frank's rallying.
Moving forward, we have to move forward, guys. We can't let our listeners down.
I agree.
We can't let each other down.
Yep.
Guys,
I'm not going to eat the same food for 3 weeks, gentlemen.
I'm not gonna shave my beard, and I cannot miss fucking 2 weeks of wrestling. I'm gonna be like,
Overwatch is getting lit right now. I can't do it. So we got to pull it together.
So we got to pull up quick,
audience.
Guys.
Based off of this, listening to this episode, why don't you send us some suggestions on how we can get ourselves on track? We'd love to hear what you think.
Yo, hit us up at Y'all Boys Talkin on Twitter. DM us on fucking Instagram at Y'all Boys Talkin.
Give us tips. We are y'all boys, and we need help.
Y'all boys need help. Clearly,
y'all boys need help.
But hashtag Team Frank is rallying. All right. Just let the
We're gonna take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back as we wallow in our sorrow. JK, we're happy. BRB.
Hi, y'all. It's me again, Old Man Y'all. If you close your eyes and listen closely, you can hear the gobble gobble of turkey season. But with all the consuming that you've been doing, make sure you find some time to give back. After all, it's Thanksgiving, not thanks taking. Happy Turkey Day.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for our final segment, our rose, thorn, our bud. Cue sound.
Oh, I got my rose, I got my bud, I got my thorn. Here is the rose and the thorn and the bud of the week. I got my rose and my thorn and my bud.
Rosebud's Thorn is an opportunity for us to give gratitude and grace to our week. Your rose is something that happened to you this week that was awesome or you were really grateful for. Your bud is what you're looking forward to next week. And your thorn is something that happened this week that was a bit of a thorn in your side.
Yeah.
So, Frank, why don't you start us off?
All right, y'all. I got a thorn, a rose, and a bud. Quick aside thorn to daylight savings. What the fuck, guys? That's it about daylight savings. But my thorn and my rose are actually the same thing. So on Sunday, I got a call from my father, which for those of you who don't know, is a person I don't really talk to very often. My parents split up when I was young, and my dad basically just didn't reach out to me for many, many years. Then my mom died, and then all of a sudden he's just like, hey, I want to be part of your life again somewhat. And I'm like, all right, cool. So he sent me a letter once time, but that basically amounted to 2 calls a year. So my birthday and maybe Christmas and possibly New Year's. So yeah, we don't have the greatest relationship. But shock and awe, homeboy calls me on Sunday. And so there's all these fires that have been going out here in California, north and south. So he was watching the news. He saw there was a bunch of fires going on. He called me and see like, what's up? So that's definitely a rose. It's definitely a rose. Cause I'm just like, oh yeah, it's cool to see that he cares, you know, to see that he cares and whatever. And, you know, reached out. But then it's also a thorn because I also remembered, the other half of that man. Because I was trying to open up, trying to use all these new techniques that I've been learning in therapy and whatnot about like, hey man, you know, my childhood was kind of rough, and also I could have used you around a bit more. But you know, he doubled down on his position. He's just like, nah, like, because I'm like, hey, I didn't have a lot of friends when I was a kid because I was in all these sports that I told you I hated, and you know. You're just like, nah, I did sports when I was a kid and I didn't like them at first, but I ended up loving them. I made a bunch of friends. I'm like, I didn't. And it's just like, well, that's your fault, which is what he said. He's just like, that's your fault. I'm like, great. Awesome. Yep. So it was like it was real rough to just kind of hear that so straightforward. And he just went on this like fucking, you know, 15-minute spiel, just like, well, yeah, you know, when I did it, it was like this, it was like that. And, you know, just because you didn't get it like that, I'm just like, all right, cool. And yeah, it just brought me back to the reason, like, okay, cool. Because I knew if I had stayed with my father in New York, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would be, God knows where else, but I wouldn't have found the things that I love. I wouldn't have been in drama. I wouldn't have met you guys. There's all these things in my life that would have happened because I was allowed to do the things that I liked. I was allowed to do the things that I was actually interested in, you know? And thank God for my mentor. Thank God for Sean. I talk about him all the time on here because he gave me that helping here. He's the reason I want to do Big Brothers Big Sisters, because I know what it's like to have someone who's your parent who doesn't really look
support you.
Who doesn't really support. I have one parent who, you know, gave everything and did everything for that, you know, and I love my mother, rest in peace. My father, you know, and I know he cares. I know there's a part of him that like truly like, that truly cares and truly wants to be that dude. But boy, he has a real rough time kind of getting through it, because like it's his way or nothing. And the man's going to turn 72 probably by the time this podcast comes out. I have a very old dad, and his ways, you know, sticking the same. So that has given me enough motivation to rally, because I'm just like, oh yeah, this is what I didn't want. So all the shit that I felt about like my weight and my body issues and really all that stuff kind of stems from that. So it's gotten me right back into the gym, like fucking going harder than I ever have, and then making me focus on like, all right, what do I really want to do? These goals. And I've been fucking up these past few weeks because I've been fucking complacent on that shit. So I'm like, all right, let me knock this shit out, because I'm gonna keep it 1,000, y'all listeners. My goal is to be successful enough to, you know, maybe it's a futile goal, just like for my dad to be like, that's awesome, I'm glad you're doing that. But also, I want to do it for me. But if I'm being totally honest, there's a part of me that also wants to shove it in his face. So yeah, that's my thorn in my rose.
All right. Thank you for sharing that, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's like everyone's first motivation is like either to make one of their parents proud or to shove everything completely down their face and be like, ha, remember when you said I couldn't? I think those
I can do both.
Yeah. Hey, do both. And finally, my bud, for Thanksgiving, I've taken an extra day off. Yeah, I have a good friend coming from out of town, and we're going to spend a bunch of time together. I'm super duper excited about it, including going to Vegas and all that good stuff. I mentioned it previously before, but I'm just extra excited. So I just wanted to mention that here after I went on my opening spiel that, you know, there's still like really dope stuff that I'm looking forward to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all my stuff.
Great. What you got for us, Max?
I got a rose. I got a bud. I got a thorn. They're basically all related to me being sick.
Oh.
My thorn is that on Friday, I missed a concert. This concert was featuring Busta Rhymes, Erykah Badu, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Slick Rick. The list
Jesus.
goes on.
Oh my God.
I can't tell you how upset I was to have to not show up to that concert. And if my lung did not have a hole in it, not a hole in it, but an additional hole growing in there, I would have been there. But alas, pneumonia kept me out. My rose is guess who lost 18 pounds?
Oh shit!
Wow, that's great rose.
You know, I'm spinning it into a rose. It's really, you know, again, I got very, very sick. I didn't eat any liquid. I didn't eat any solid foods for quite some time. And then I went on the scale one day and I had lost 18 pounds. And I was like, this is pretty bad. But I'm looking at it as a positive.
But now you got abs, though.
Ugh.
Pneumonia abs.
Kind of, you know, POW abs, you know, they're not that great.
Jeez.
My bud though is what I'm calling rehab. Like, I'm of a certain age now, gentlemen. Number one, I've never been this sick in my life. I've never been this incapacitated for so long. And part of that is understanding that like I can't just like get to work the next day after I feel like I don't have this anymore. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be a few days where I'm just like learning how to be a whole person again. I haven't climbed up a set of stairs in quite some time. I haven't talked to people in a professional capacity in over a week. So there's like things I have to like relearn, things I have to like gradually step myself into before I can like throw myself all the way in there. So when I didn't know I had pneumonia, I thought I just had like a stomach virus, a quick little thing that might get over in 3 days. So I actually went to work last week, Wednesday, and I found out I did not have the energy to do a third of the physical things I do at work. And I also don't do very many physical things at work. What I'm talking about is walking up one flight of stairs, going to the kitchen, right? Like getting a new charger, right? Like
climbing rocks,
all that stuff, right? Things that aren't super physically, you know, demanding, yet things that I have to do every day that I now am super terrible at. And I have to like work a little bit just to get better at those simple things. So I call it a back to work rehab, and I'm starting it as soon as I'm feeling better. So that's my bud.
Swag. Great.
That's all I got.
Get well soon, my brother.
Yeah, for real. Go to the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
Steve, what you got?
I got a thorn rosebud. And my thorn was that I don't know, but my hands and feet got really, really sweaty last week for one day. And I was kind of low-key paranoid that I might have caught the pneumonia or some type of sickness going around. But I think in reality, I was just really, really anxious because it happened while I was at work. And I couldn't really shake it off. Even when I was trying to sleep, it was just really bad. And I remember feeling some chest pains and that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I think it's resolved, but it's one of those things I've slowly been kind of unwinding in my weekly therapy sessions. But it was kind of alarming just how it just kind of happened. And there wasn't a very clear trigger. I think maybe just I was thinking about things I had to do that I haven't done and not taking care of myself. And it just kind of amounted to that moment of alarming. So that wasn't cool. My rose was that I finally got to surprise Celeste with a surprise visit. I've planned to do it at least 2 or 3 times, where I was going to buy a ticket to go see her in Utah and show up by the apartment door and be like, hey, and then she's like, oh my God, you didn't tell me you were here. But the previous times, it was always just like she planned something else, and I was like, wait, and I had to kind of spoil the plans, or just it was always for good reasons. And it was really nice seeing her face. be so surprised, especially because she's also been really sick, so I got to take care of her.
Nice.
And my bud is ironically and hopefully not related to my thorn, but my workload has been ramping up at work, more so on like the projects and things that I've been wanting to do. I've been hearing more people kind of being like, hey, so is this something that we're doing? And there's more talks about it. And I've just been kind of like throwing myself into that project of revamping the website and various other things that are tied to it, and just being like, yeah, I'm trying to spearhead it. And aside from that, and just like side projects that I'm excited to work on, and just I'm feeling more productive and a bit more level-headed with how I've approached things as opposed to like the past couple months. So I'm just excited to be creative and productive, to like and pushing my creative juices. So yeah,
You get them juices flowing. Josh.
So my rose this week was that I celebrated my birthday, and it was nice. Getting a lot of love and a lot of double taps and hearts and all that stuff, and it's really good to welcome the age of 30 with a wonderful and warm embrace from my peoples. My bud for next week is that I will be performing in an improv show, and I'm really excited to be in front of an audience again. I try to do that as much as I can. But yeah, should be fun. Got some rehearsal this week, and my team Comedy Cake will be kicking ass and eating names. Haha. And last but not least, my thorn was that I was a victim of getting high off of my ego. And I was working on a project this week that I looked at from a off perspective at first, and I realized it was just my ego talking. And it ended up being a lot more pleasant and wholesome than I expected. So check your egos. It can make you sick. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our show. We are wishing to you that you have used the many trials and tribulations that we have as fuel for your own stepping to the topping of your Sunday dessert of goals. All right, it's late. Good night, y'all.
Hashtag Team Frank rallying.
We have a couple shout outs we want to give. Shout out to Adian Lewis for our interstitial music, to Geno Music for our wonderful theme song called Won't Stop. To learn more about our challenges, go to y'allboystalkin.com or follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at Y'all Boys Talkin. New episodes every single Wednesday. Stay tuned.